Hey, what's up everyone? How you doing? It's John. In this video, I'll be reviewing the new Asus ROG Ally X. This is the Xbox version of that, just came out recently. This is the X version, so the upgraded version includes 1 terabyte of SSD internal memory. It's got pretty powerful handheld. I think it's probably one of the more powerful handhelds you'll see for gaming on the market. It's essentially a portable PC, but it's got an Xbox interface, and it's a way you can take your Xbox games on the go. So in this video, I'm going to compare it to other current handhelds on the market, including the Switch 2, Steam Deck, among others. We'll see which one's kind of the best of the best, so to speak. I will tell you this is the most expensive one right now between the ones I just mentioned. So without any further ado, let's take a closer look at it. Let's show you kind of what's included, show you some game demos, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Okay, here's a closer look at the box itself. Kind of really most of the stuff is on the lid. It is a clamshell. I do like that it shows the Xbox logo there. One thing I do wish, it does come in 2 different colors. You have the standard Xbox ROG Ally that is white, and then you have the black one, which is this. I do wish it had offered a green version, maybe a transparent green, like the original Halo Master Chief Xbox edition would be really cool in some of the controllers, but perhaps they'll do that in the future. You open this up, and this is where the console is, or handheld. And what's interesting here is you have like this dock. It does come with a dock. This is more like a cardboard cheap dock though, and it's kind of flimsy. I guess that's to more of a display thing. I did purchase, I got this for my Steam Deck, and it does work for this as well. I tested it, and you get this on Amazon fairly inexpensive. And this is a dock, basically connects to USB-C, the very top of the unit, and you have expands your USBs as well as HDMI out, so you can actually dock this to your TV or monitor or whatever you want, and that's nice. This is third party. Does not come with a carrying case. I did get a case. I think I spent like $25, $30 on it on Amazon. Has not arrived yet. So, but it is a custom sized case that will work with the ROG. Additionally, it did come with a nice AC adapter with the ROG Ally logo there. This cord is about 7 to 8 feet long, so plenty of good length on the cord, and it does have a USB-C at the end. I do appreciate that it has the proper adapters to plug into the wall, or a strip or power strip, wherever you're plugging into, opposed to having like just a USB-C on the other end and you having to get that adapter. So that is appreciated. I appreciate that. This thing, by the way, isn't cheap. This is the, like I said, this is the, and here it is right here. This is the top model, right? And this retails for $1,000 US. So kind of more expensive on that end, absolutely more expensive on that end. A little bit of specs I want to share with you. Comes with a 7-inch screen, okay? 1080, 1920 by 1080 display on the screen. So it is, of all the handhelds I have, or all the other handhelds that are currently on the market, this is one of the top, absolutely. 24 gigs of RAM, which is important because the more RAM you have on any console or device, the faster processing, so it's going to go through programs faster. It's not going to be in much slowdown. So 24 is great. Compare that to a Switch 2, for example. Switch 2 has 12 gigs of RAM, so this is twice as much RAM as a Switch 2, although twice as much price for the most part, right? More than that. 120 hertz refresh rate, IPS touchscreen, so it is a touchscreen, very responsive. It is not OLED, which is kind of disappointing. So it doesn't have the sharp blacks or anything like that. We'll turn on here in a second, show you how it boots up. This is going over the controls. It does have your D-pad here. It feels pretty comfortable. 2 analog sticks. These lights do light up, and when you power on, you'll see that. I kind of wish it would stay on green, but they kind of go through the rainbow, and they kind of go through and go through all the different colors that they transition. You have your Xbox button here to kind of go home. This is your create button here for options. I'll show you what that is. And this is your start on here. This is not your start here, which is interesting. You have your BAXY button. You also have the very top, you have you have, let's see, the RT and RB buttons here, and then the LB, LT buttons at the very top here. This is your power button. You have your, you can plug it into a headphone jack. There's Bluetooth. You can expand the memory. It has 1 terabyte of SSD memory. You can expand it up to, I believe they have up to 2 terabytes of mini SD cards. You can plug in here. The initial issue with I had the original ROG Ally when it came out a couple years ago. This is the original one. And the issue with this one is that it overheated. It got really hot. It would burn through and fry through the SD cards. So that was an issue. I really like the interface with the Xbox version because it boots up to a nice little interface. This is basically Windows on your games console here, which isn't too bad. Very similar kind of design. They did fix it. They added a second USB-C slot here at the very top, which is nice. So there's two USBs, one's for power, one's for external. Here there's only one, so you can do one or the other. They moved this is the volume controls here. They moved it over to the left. They added a vent here to make it cooler, so the system wouldn't overheat as much, which is appreciated. And they have also added, I guess this is the same here, some more vents here, some more ventilation. Weights about the same. The big difference is they've added these grips on both sides, so they kind of combined kind of the grip of what like the Xbox controller would feel like. It feels really good. It's slightly heavier for that reason, but not anything noticeable. You have more ventilation here, but you got the ROG Ally logo here with the eyes. These are some additional buttons here on the back. And yeah, overall it feels really nice to the touch. Really nice looking screen. So this was about $650 US. It's 512 gigs of SSD memory, so it's half. This is a terabyte, and this was 1,000 as mentioned before. So you got the ROG logo here at the bottom. And then let's compare it to the Steam Deck, for example. So here's my Steam Deck right here, and here's my ROG Xbox. The Steam Deck actually has a bigger screen, 7.4 inch screen, so it's slightly bigger. It's got 1 terabyte of SSD memory as well. The RAM is actually only 16 gigs of RAM and opposed to 24. The price is $650 US approximately, right? So quite a bit cheaper. It has 3 to 12 hours of battery life. By the way, this one, you can adjust how long you go to turbo. I'll show you the settings. The battery of this is 2 hours if you're playing at high performance. If you're not, it can go up to 10 hours. So this right here, the Steam Deck has a little bit longer battery life for the most part. It's 1280 by 800 display, so it's not as crisp or good, clean as the 1920 by 1080 that the Xbox ROG Ally has. A little better to screen. This does have the OLED, so it is going to be darker. This is the OLED version. This is the top-notch Steam Deck, and only one USB-C out. The power, dude, I'll be honest, I love my Steam Deck, and for the price, can't really beat it. $650 for that with all this. Yes, it doesn't have as much RAM. Yes, the display is not as good in terms of, the resolution. It's got a 90 hertz refresh opposed to the 120. So again, the refresh rate is going to be a little bit slower. So, if you want something that's going to, if you're playing high power games, Call of Duty, etc., that's important to you, then you might want to consider this. If not, I think this thing holds up very, very well. So that's the Steam Deck. Okay, now I'm going to show you a comparison with the Switch one. This is the OLED actually version. This is Switch OLED. Love it. Also, both sides, same screen, 7 inch. So same screen. This OLED. Again, you get the darker, kind of brighter colors. OLED. This one more crisp. 4 gigs of RAM opposed to 24. So significant difference there. Only 720p display opposed to 920 by 1080. So a much more powerful. Only 64 gigs of internal memory opposed to, now it is expandable obviously with the micro SD card slot in the back. I do like this is a custom one I had made with a translucent back. I think it looks really cool. But yeah, that's a big difference. So not as powerful, fraction of the cost. Obviously, many of us know about the Switch classic console, but not as hefty, but also not as expensive. The last one I want to compare it with is the Switch 2. Okay, this is a fairly new console as well. It came out earlier this year. 7.9 inch screen, so this has got the biggest screen of them all. Not OLED, so it's not an OLED like the Xbox ROG Ally here. It has 12 gigs of RAM. So compare that to the Steam Deck had 16. This is 24, so kind of one step down. So we got the OLED between, or the Steam Deck would be between both of these, and 256 gigs of internal memory. So twice as many. A lot more gigs of internal memory than the original Switch. Improvement, 3 times as much RAM, which is important, but definitely half of what this thing is. So this is essentially half as powerful. Now, this is $450. This is $1,000, so it's less than half the cost as well. I love the Switch 2. Very, very great console. So it kind of depends on what you're looking to purchase. But if you're a big gamer and you're looking for high performance, something high performance is definitely something to check out. Let's go and boot this on. hold down the power button. Okay. And let's go swipe up. We'll put my code in. So it boots you out to this screen here. Let's zoom in here so you can take a closer look. Okay, there you go. And again, let's go to home. I can go to Game Pass. I signed in my Game Pass account. I can go to all games. I can see there's like over 521 games here I can play with. Some of these I can play through the cloud as well, which is nice. So let's test the game. Jump back in. Okay, let's do Halo Infinite. I think this one's one I can play in the cloud. Play with cloud, yep. So click on this. Turn the volume up. So when you first get this, it's going to actually update. So it takes a while to update. It took me about an hour and a half to update the whole console. You have to sign into your Microsoft account, sign into your Xbox account if you have one, and getting connected to the internet is obviously important. I'll ask you to do that as well. This is max volume. Now, depending on your internet speed, it could be delayed a little bit. It's playing through, streaming it, syncing data. Let's do that real quick. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to go into my create button here, hit that. Now, this is kind of the command center, right? It can change it to, right now it's on high performance. Or actually, it's 17. I can do turbo up to 25. I guess that's not an option with this game, so I guess it depends on the game. But normally you can kind of adjust your setting. Oh, you know why? Because I don't have it plugged in. I think once you get it plugged in, you can do turbo. You can get it a little bit more. So let me go ahead and plug it in. So once I plug it in, right away it goes to 35 turbo. So it went from 17 to 35, so over twice. I can go silent mode. So depending on which option you pick, the battery life is going to last longer. This option is only available when it's plugged in. Okay, I can play with gamepad or desktop or auto. So gamepad, you can dock this thing as I mentioned before. So if you had gamepad, keyboard, mouse, keyboard, you do that. You can also adjust game profile, all that good jazz. You can also go home. So we'll go. Let's begin. Go back here. Let's resume. Now I'm doing this through cloud gaming. So far it's running pretty smooth. Where'd he go? He's behind me. Oh, I'm out. I'm out of ammo. Okay, that's too bad. Switch. Alright, so we're going to go home. Hit the Xbox here. Go home. Now, it's still going to be running in my background. So what you want to do is you want to swipe up here. Oh, actually, that closed out. Normally, this is kind of where you can close different things out. I can go to my library here. And these are games I've downloaded so far. So this is a game. Let's check out Ian Jones. We'll play. This is a really fun game. It's a great circle. Syncing data. So this game, I'm not going to be playing through clouds. You can kind of see the difference. But I thought the cloud gaming actually worked pretty well. When you're traveling a lot, it's going to make a difference too, because you can't, unless you're connected to the internet, you can't do the cloud gaming, right? So it's important to download. You can see the temperature right now. It shows you how temperature right now. Frames per second. So about 220 to 230 frames per second right now. Troy Baker is the voice of Ian Jones in this. It sounds just like Harrison Ford. It's pretty crazy. So I'm mid campaign here. The sound actually really good. Click down on it, see if I can pass. Jump across. Oh, I fell. Oh no. Yeah, this is a really, really fun game though. And it plays amazing. So I'm gonna go hit this, go to home. I think, see, it's still running in the background. Okay, let's go over here. Let's swipe over and then hit X to close it out. And close it out, right? Or you can just go to the main menu and exit that way. What's also really cool, let's go to the Xbox button here. I've got different apps on here, so I can go up to my Steam, do that, Steam Deck. So essentially this can turn into a Steam Deck as well. And here it opens up my Steam. I noticed the interface for this isn't as user-friendly as like when you have the Steam Deck, for example. Maybe it's still loading. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. It was working earlier. But usually if I want to play my Steam games, either I'll play on my PC or my Steam Deck. I don't really, but it is an option. Trust me on that. I'm going to also open up, I got EA on here. I subscribe to the EA Pro plan, right? So I can get games kind of like the Game Pass is their version of Game Pass. And they got different games on here I can download. Let's go to my library. This is installed. Looks like it's still downloading. Okay, so I'm 3.5 hours in, but I haven't downloaded it fully to play and show you. But that's pretty cool. So you have that, and the other option would be to Ubisoft, and this is kind of like their Game Pass version as well. So any new games that they've released recently, day one, you can access through here, which is really cool. Okay, here it is. And I can go to, I think I have some games down. Let's see, Discover now. Let's see what games I've got. Got Star Wars Outlands, so let's check it out. Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever played this, but it's a pretty fun, it's kind of a unique Star Wars game. We'll resume.
I think we're good, Nix. Can't believe we pulled that off. Waka, how fast can you fix that ship?
I know.
So this game is third-party perspective, third-person perspective rather.
You get paid?
Maybe. You know anyone who'd buy proof that some Pike is trying to overthrow Gorak?
Gorak would. Just leave my name out of it this
Let's
time.
see performance. We're getting turbo. So about 30 frames per second, 35 per second. Go back to the Xbox. This is more the Xbox one. So yeah, I mean, there's literally hundreds of games between those three apps. It does not connect to my PlayStation Plus account. Not too surprised there. I couldn't figure out how to do that because of Xbox. I'm not surprised, to be honest. But I mean, I know Xbox has been talking about getting the handheld market for a long time. This is their first foray. I think they were smart to team with Asus to do it. Asus is very knowledgeable making these handhelds. They've been doing it for a while now, and they make great products. Another thing I want to show you, if you go hit the Xbox button here, go to this here. This is kind of control. This is the main function. So you go to general, you can kind of see storage, kind of see how much storage I have left. And that, okay, device info as well. You can go to calibration, audio, performance, kind of see what the CPUs, the GPUs are, frequency, all that. So that's kind of in this area here. So that's kind of interesting as well. Battery, you can kind of see what the battery's at, and you can do limit charging to 80%, instant full charge mode. You know, right now it's charge battery 100% when full capacity is required. Battery care mode automatically resumes after 24 hours. So that's interesting as well. So I mean, there's different. You can do lighting. Let's see, what's color cycle? Let's see what these are different color cycles. See how they're kind of changing. That's neat. brightness. Make it brighter or lower. You can turn them off. I'm sure it's going to say power to turn them off. We'll keep it like medium there. So that's kind of cool. Connection, all that, get connected to the internet, all that good stuff too, right? So overall, what do I think about the Xbox ROG Ally? I think overall it's decent. It's a decent handheld. I think definitely on the higher performing side of things for sure. Absolutely. Let's go home. On the more expensive side, right? $1,000 is definitely more expensive than your typical of the ones I compared it to. The Switch is obviously least expensive. Switch 2 is right in the middle. Steam Deck $650. Now they do offer the standard Xbox ROG Ally is $600 US, more in line with the Steam Deck, but it doesn't have OLED, and neither does this. So unless you're a hardcore gamer, if you already have an Xbox X or new Xbox, then you may want to hold off on getting this right away. My opinion, it does dock into with a dock, which is neat. This is an example I showed you before that works. So you can essentially turn this into your Xbox. It has Bluetooth 5.4, so you can hook up wireless controllers, iPods, headphones, etc. through Bluetooth, which is also very neat. So it is really a portable Xbox, right? 1,000 terabytes, or sorry, 1,000 gigs, 1 terabyte external memory here. Sounds like a lot, but it fills up fast. A lot of games take a lot of gigs, and it takes a while for it to download. So if you're on the road, you definitely want to take the time. You want that extra storage. You can extend it to micro SD card here, which is nice. I think it for what it is, what it does, it's good. And I know here in the US we're dealing with the tariffs, and I'm sure that has to account to some of the reason why this is more expensive than your typical stuff. But I think the Switch 2 is priced at $450. That's between that and the Steam Deck. You can get almost both those for the cost of this, right? So, and you can do a lot more. I think the Steam Deck, this is a really cool interface. I really like the interface on this. I think they did a really good job with how this is lined up, and all that good stuff. And you can play a little more games than you can on the Steam Deck, from what I can see. But I know you can open the Steam Deck as well, and I've done that with mine. You can pretty much turn it into a portable PC as well. Overall, I'm pretty impressed. I wish it was cheaper. I'd probably add a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best system ever, 1 being the worst system ever. I'd probably give it like a 7, 7.5 on the grading scale. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Let me know what you guys think. Do you have one? If so, leave a comment. If you don't, let me know what you guys think as well. Thank you again for subscribing. We'll see you soon. And of course, game on.